Here we go. Thursday racing here with Today at the Races. Opening things up, of course, is myself and Keith Fustel. Keith, just taking a quick peek at Sunday of what happened Sunday. Couple prices. We got Miss Justify for Susan Cooney,
Yeah.
John Brasino. I have Courage, $24 for Carlos Mencia, Angel Cruz. We actually, Sunday started off with a bunch of double-digit prices.
Started out with a bang, and
It did.
ended okay as well. The pick
Yep.
fives, again, we emphasize the low takeout, really close to an industry low. I saw the track put up, might have cut us by 0.1% or
Oh,
whatever.
gosh.
0.1.
Okay.
I don't know. Anyhow, it's really low. It's 12%. And 25,000 to the early pick five winner. 5,000 for the late pick five, and they just keep rolling along these payouts. So I know it. These races are super challenging.
They are.
We got into this period now. We're on the turf. We've got big fields. Even our dirt races, the fields are pretty full, and you may have to invest a little bit more, but you can reap the dividends. Go grab a friend,
Yes.
do what you can. Take what we kind of throw out there with you as maybe an initial little setup, and go from there. But yeah, we've got a nice day on hand today. So it's a little chill out here near the paddock, but I think things are going to warm up a little bit, Callie.
It's just the wind. I was complaining earlier off camera how I was already chilled out, but I think that sun is going to be popping up at any moment. We do have, it's a little bit cloudy, a little bit clouds in the cloudy situation. But yes, fast as track is fast and the turf is firm.
Yeah.
There we have it. And of course, good sunny skies all day long. Here, let's kick things off.
All right.
In that early pick five, in this maiden special weight, 5.5 on the dirt for the straight 2-year-olds.
Yeah.
Keith, let's go ahead and talk about your best bet of the day in Veiled for Jane Sabelli, gets Charlie Marquez, and the blinkers on as well.
We're going to try to get on top early.
'Kay.
We'll see. Early money. I mean, very, very early. Some money on Naptown by Munnings, one of my favorite sires, and I don't even have the horse in the picks, but I'll use him in the exacta. But I went back. In Veiled's first race at Pimlico was pretty good. He flashed speed, got caught in behind horses under a little bit of a hustling ride about the 5/8 pole, had to tap the brakes, dropped back a little bit, got put to a ride again, pretty hard on the turn, shifted out, and really kept on well, I thought, to the wire. Classic joke, that was the Ricky Silliman, I think, Colonial to Pimlico angle that got it done. But the blinkers go on. This barn recently 4 for 13, 31%, 8 for 13 in the money. Over the last couple of years, second out with an ROI of 355 on the main track. I think if this guy has focus and breaks well, it's all systems go from the inside.
There we go. And in your exacta, you have a trailing monster for Raymond Ginter Jr. Gets J.D. Acosta in the saddle here today with this Tale of Akati. Has been entered 3 times, but worse scratches. One was an 80 scratch, was a canceled race, and one was a trainer scratch.
Yeah, this barn of late, the last 3 months in Maryland, 28%. Killer race at Churchill. Got into one of those earlier 2-year-old races, just kind of even. 4 next out winners, including a couple graded stakes types, if I'm not mistaken, horses that run close to the 90s. So that was a real salty bunch down at Churchill Downs, just riding the wave of this barn right now at a high percentage. I think gains a little experience out of the race at Churchill, comes here and should be good to go. The 8, our legal tender, interesting move, your top selection. Originally had this one on top. And going turf to dirt, second out. Now that angle with the 2-year-olds of late for Trombetta has been about 43% off of a smaller sampling. By American Pharoah, these horses can kind of run on any surface. They've been okay, been versatile. Out of an arch mare, so they try the turf first time out. Off a little bit slow, as you saw from that outer post. Goes up and makes kind of a wide advance. A pretty good quick run there under some coaxing into the turn. Finds a little bit of trouble at the quarter pole. We're going to see this in the red cap. It's a little tough, but going to steady coming here right there. 3-horse might have drifted ever so slightly. This one had to regroup, and man, came on quite well. Almost 6-7 lengths it rallied from the top of the stretch home at Pimlico. This was a good run. A very impressive debut. Little interesting move back to the dirt, but that stat kind of gives you a little bit of hope.
There we have it. A good-looking finish.
Finish is up here
the
real good.
finish is, yeah, it does. It looks great. Even just battling against that horse on the outside, everything looks good there for the Mike Trombetta, our legal tender, as Keith Fustel goes 1-4-8-3 there in race number 1 to kick off the early pick 5. Now, let's kick off the beloved early pick 4. And Keith, your beloved ticket. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what we've got going for this early pick 4.
Yeah, we'll see. Beloved or a beat down for me, right? After we get through race number 5 or race 2 when we tap out early. But $27 for the ticket. Again, these things are tough. 5, 7, 9, 3 deep to get you started. A little price in there with Flash is back. 2 deep in race 3 with the 2 and the 10. Could be some ways to go in there. The little bottom level 2-year-old fillies, maiden fillies. That's a tricky little heat. Race 4, 2, 8, and 10. Some price shots in there. We'll talk about them later. Race 5 with the 4, 5, 7, $27 early pick 4. There's your starter. Like I say, go grab a friend and add on if you can, because you may need to.
It's a good starter.
Yeah.
It's a good starter here in this claiming 16,000 turf event, going 5.5 to be precise. In this never win 2 for the 3-year-olds and up, scratching the 4, 6, 8, 13, 14, 15. And 16 to round out those AEs. Keith, you have the number 9 on top, and let's go ahead and take a look at Pick and Seaglass back in that last action in the 18th of August.
Yeah, Pick and Seaglass down inside. Got forward. This was the race, tall order right off the drop, I believe. Got it done, right? Shifted out and gets it done. For Cat was claimed out of the race, went to Perry. But down inside, forward, this horse has positional speed. I liked it in this spot, dropping because it was banging against some tough horses. This is the relief that it needed. Just a little stymied there coming to mid-stretch, lacking some room. You see the 9 drift in a little bit here, coming to mid-stretch, and has to kind of fight through a seam. I like the way that he kept going. We're going to try to get Terry Overmeyer a win here. Pick and Seaglass, the outer portion of both of these turf courses has been okay. We've seen horses being able to kind of make that move there. He's going to be up close today. Looking at this field, I want to see him into the race early.
And I agree. I think he needs to be up there. You also go with the number 7 underneath, and Flash is back. I originally had this horse on my picks. Brandon McFarland, Carlos Lopez gets the call today, and I heard through a little birdie that they're going to be sending and pushing this horse a little bit today.
Really?
Yes.
Huh. Well, I think maybe they saw that the kind of the lack of real true speed in the race. Maybe that's what's going to happen. Lopez on here. Yeah, I just think he just needs to hold form. Can he pair up a race? He ran really good last time at a big number.
He did.
You'll still get, I think, an okay price on Flash's back when it's all said and done. But interesting tactics there for one of the longest hitters of a golf ball we have here at Laurel Park and Brandon McFarland.
There we have 9-7-5-1 for Keith Fusel in race number 2. That's a nicely contested turf event. Race number 3 is a maiden claiming 12-5, going 5.5 on the dirt now instead of the turf for the 2-year-old fillies. Let's scratch in the number 3, 8, and 9. You and I both have now inheriting the rail is True Sunshine for John Salzman Jr. Gets the blinkers on, as well as Javian Toledo in the saddle.
Okay, so we have a scratch. The one is the one?
Oh, sorry. No, the one is not a scratch.
Okay, good.
I made an oopsie. So
that's
no,
all right. That's all right.
Scratching the 3, 8, and 9. And no, we do have the rail horse in True Sunshine breaking out of the second post for John Salzman Jr.
Okay, you threw me a curveball there. I was a little concerned.
I did.
City Kiss is out. The
threw
3, 8.
myself a curveball, Keith.
3, 8, and 9. I do that all the time. But half to a 9-time winner and a 5-time winner. A little bumping around at the break at Timonium. A drop. This is kind of like, hey, let's go now. This was a daughter of True Chick, out of True Chick. We saw one of her foals go at the sale the other day by Cold Front. Went for a big number. But True Sunshine, I think, is going to benefit. Called a dropper in their Capitude. Clean break, and it's a send from the inside at 5.5. I think we'll be around a long way. Now, looking for a price shot, kind of dirtied up form off the first 2 races. We go to the outside with the 10. You've got this filly into the mix out of Sitting and Sipping. This is a half to porch swing. There's some other dirt in the family. There's some sprint in the family. Dropping down, Hammy, when you kind of sometimes least expect it, this one just doesn't look like any. I think this horse is going to improve on the dirt. May not win it, but at the price, you might get a little bit of a price here on Sipping Time.
Sipping Time, and then for fun, you include El Dorado Queen for Claudio Gonzalez, Georgie Hernandez coming over from that effort, stretching things out at Timonium, and after a stumbled start, might prove a little bit better as you go 2-10, 6-1 in race number 2. Race number 3, 4. Race number 4. Wow, where is my brain today? 5.5 on the grass for the girls, 3 and up in this claiming 16, never win 2. Scratching the 5, 12, 13 through 16 for the AEs. You have the number 10 on top. This is Ravel Song for Mike Merriman, and Axel Concepcion gets in the saddle. Your first value play of the day today.
I got 2 in this race. It's the 10 and the 8. So the strategy here, I'm going to play the exactas with the 8 and the 10, box them, and take them top and bottom with a few other horses in this race. Hopefully they hold value closer to those morning lines of, I think, almost 12-1 and 8-1. There's going to be some speed in this race. New Rome and Whistle, a couple of the others. The scratch of Matty Bow he would have been part of that flow, or she would have been part of that flow as well. But I think Revelation looks kind of sneaky. Claim for 5,000 at Timonium. They've been patient. Entered a couple times. The race has come off the turf. Now gets a run today. Lone Turf try it too was good. Closed into it. Just got up at Gulfstream. The next try, Act of Congress, big trouble. You see it troubled early, caught 4 to 5 wide. I'm going to toss that. Coming back to what might be a preferred surface with some speed up front, I think you're looking at a price shot to make that run from mid-pack.
And there we have it.
First blinkers as
Yes.
well
Yes.
on the turf.
And so a good angle there. You also have Policewoman, and now taking a look at it, I like this other one for the other value play that you have for Joseph Woodett. Al Delgado takes the call on this one, shortens up and drops down.
Yeah, caught it off the turf last race. Really kind of an improved dirt number from prior tries, so that gives me a little. So we're cycling into pretty good form against better. It can make a run from the back of the pack, shifts out, will be well back early, it looks like. I think can get into the clear and make a good run that last 3/16 of a mile.
10-8 to 1 for Keith Fustel in race number 4. The last leg of his early pick 4 is race number 5. In this, claiming 16,000 again, which have never won 2. This time it's 7 furlongs on the dirt. For the girls, 3 and up, scratch the 2. Then come morning, scratch the 8. Gwinnett, of course, it also starts that rainbow pick 6. Of course, that carryover is going to be climbing up by the time we get there. Let's zip through my ticket if we so shall. Again, tricky, but I tried to keep it a bit. I might have taking a look at that. I go 3 deep in races 5, 6, and 9, and in race 7 and 10, 2 deep. And my single, I had to settle on the single of number 2 in race number 8. You Must Chill, easy single to go for in that turf event for Jamie Ness, 3 years old and up. $21.60 ticket. Let's turn back to race number 5. As I mentioned, never win 2, 7 furlongs on the dirt for race number 5. For the girls, 3 and up, scratching the 2, scratching the 8. Keith, you and I both have the number 4. Let's take a look at Looking for Water back at that Timonium effort.
Looking for Water, another one's off of a big break from May 22 to June 23, is kind of ramped back into, I think, is what would be maybe her top form. She may have to even step it up a little bit more here this afternoon. This is a good run at Timonium where it's hard to make up a lot of ground. She was down inside, saved ground. I love the ride. Was able to work out a trip and work between horses late to finish with good energy. That winner got clear down the backside. I think it was a Brittany Russell, and it was over from there. So looking at 7/8 and looking at this field, again, to kind of be redundant here, the sustainable run I think is going to come from the 4. Looking for Water might be a little bit late. Lovely Liza to me might just be an all or nothing type for Anthony Ferrier. Real dull effort off of a big number, and now another drop. See if she's got one more in her. The flow's not going to be too demanding. She could definitely separate from this field by the time they turn for home, especially with the scratch of this 8, who I thought was going to be part of the flow. The other flow might be inside with Ginger Girl.
There we have it. 7, you also round out with Spencerian, and number 9, Sistren. So this is a bit of a I'm not going to say it's a wide open affair, but
it is.
There's a little bit, yes.
Because it looks Lovely Liza is kind of that real X factor. I think Spencerian has been a popular claimed a couple times here of late. Hugh McMahon barn doing well. Another, I think 7 furlongs. The distance is fine, and I think this company's going to work for that one today, making that grinding run from mid-pack.
And there we have it. Keith Fustel, 4, 5, 7, 9, and we will be right back after this commercial break to talk about the rest of Thursday's card.
And they're off.
We get back into action here in race number 6. Kicks off that jackpot super high 5 and the late pick 5 as well. This is a maiden special weight going 5.5 on the turf for the straight 2-year-olds. Keith, you have the number 9 on top. Let's go with that Arnaud Delacour Eastern Extension. Angel Cruz gets the call, and we have a nice little stat here.
Yeah, Arnaud Delacour, the past 3 years, 4 for 12, 33%, 8 for 12 in the money with the 2-year-old firsters sprinting on the lawn. ROI of 318. That works by a stallion I'm not really familiar with at all. Only about 5 runners, I believe, thus far. But I'm looking at the precociousness within the breeding on the bottom side. Mare was good. Second dam, 1 debut, a group, and then I think went on to win a Group 3. Lone sibling, 1 debut sprinting in France, and then came to the U.S. and I think topped out at an 84. We know what this barn can do. Work seemed to be fine. Set in a good position, I think, out here for the debut.
Absolutely. You also have the number 2 underneath, and let's go ahead and take a look at Beltane. This is of course a full to Benny Havens, but we're taking a look at that last effort at Pimlico.
Yeah, another. This horse is run well every time. The last 2 super sharp, just tough beats, and you hate, to think sometimes horses like this, they get into this habit and they just suffer brutal beat after brutal beat. Beltane running so hard.
Yep.
Comes back, misses by a nose. Shine on Moon, that was a Lynch firster. Look at this, gets the short lead in. The other horse comes back right at the end.
Right at the end.
Awful. But you know what? This guy's trying. I think he's very versatile in this spot. He can spy the speeds to the outside. He's got to move from just off of it. Love the way he's tried, the grit he's shown these last couple.
That's what I'm hoping. I talked to TJ a little bit. I said, hey, are you sending this horse or not? And it's tough because he is on that inside. So I think they're going to try and get Xavier to make this guy as comfortable as possible.
I think naturally his speed is going to put him into the flow somewhere close. You got a horse like Sugar Steve that's got lick, that's shown it down at Ellis Park. I think we'll go ahead and be put. And we don't know what these firsters are going to bring to the table. But Beltane with a clean break, I think, is got to be forward on the lead or just off of it turning for home. And the road certainly could go through him past mid-stretch again. You've got the 4 Pops Harper. Here's Lynch again with a firster going up against TJ's horse. Practical Joke we know is good, 18% with the firsters. Full Brother ran a big number on the dirt in debut, 74. That's solid. And you look at the family, 2 debut winners. The mare broke the maiden on the turf, so there's some turf there as well. Always got to respect the Lynch first-time starters.
You do, and you also have to respect the breeding behind the number 10.
Yes.
Enzo for his ZZ Zoom Zoom, half to Caravel, Witty, a full to Mission Man, I believe. But yes, a lot to be expected from that one there.
Yeah, and I think full to Witty, 4 starters, a win, 2 seconds, and a third with these horses right out of the box. So going to be there. Works, if you just glance, a little pedestrian, but you got to trust in the breeding and the way all of these siblings have run first time out. I remember Witty we caught. We had on the show at a big price at like 27 to 1 first time out. Ran second, but I think we caught that little exacta there.
We did. I think we did. We certainly did do that. I think that might have been a second time out in a stake or something like that. But race number 7 is claiming 25, which have never won 3. 6 furlongs on the dirt for the 3-year-olds and up. No scratches in this race. Keith, you have the number 6 on top. And Sumo. This is in the barn of Lacey Gaudet, and Johan Rosado takes the call again.
Yeah, good run at Colonial. Off the break, a protect move with the waiver, and another protect move today, jumping up to the 25. Just got beat a zop there. Charging Arrow was an Asmussen drop. We had some good numbers on the back, like an 81 at Tampa when it was with Darian Rodriguez, his barn, a tactical runner. This one off a little slow, just a little bit in tight, and had to avoid a loose horse through the stretch, and love the gameness to keep on challenging. I think, again, you're going to have some speed in here. Pudge Boy Palace, Giuseppe, a couple of these other ones want to be forward. Cleaner break Sumo. I like the confidence they've got in this runner. Her horses have been running well of late. They always look good on the track. Sumo to make a run from mid-pack.
You go with your exacta in the number 3 Carbonite for Raymond Gitter Jr. Axel Concepcion takes the call with this one. Staying in this 25, never won 3. A decent effort last time out.
We talked about the barn, 28% the last 3 months. Carbonite likes to get put into the race and likes to stay around. Again, I think his speed is just going to put him there, and he stays the trip. He's willing to battle. You go far outside, the same thing with Pudge Boy Palace. He's worked route the sprint before. You go back, the last time he did it, he got it done, albeit on a sloppy sealed surface, but he's going to be tough prompting that pace.
6-3-9-2 for Keith Fustel in race number 7. Race number 8 is a starter optional 20-mile and 16th event on the Laurel lawn.
Yeah.
Let's take a 3-year-olds and up. Scratching the 4, Rough Sea. Scratching the 12, Looking for Justice. Let's go and talk about You Must Chill. Jamie Ness, Axel Concepcion, both of our shared top selections.
And what do you think of this move? In for 20. Here is a horse that's been just nothing but good, right?
Right.
And they're willing to part ways. I mean, it's part of the game. It's the business. I guess turf season and maybe coming to a close here in a little while. You got a horse's last couple dirt races. He looks like maybe he's soured on the dirt. So attack mode here. Won his last 2 on the turf. Runs well against 2 other than Dr. Davis, a really good try back at Pimlico.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, looking at this guy, if he's close, if he gives a B-plus performance, he's going to be tough to beat. He looks like he's got to be right there. And I think looking at the way this race is going to set up, our old buddy is going to send from the outside. Papal Law, I think, is going to
Yes.
kind of get to the front and ear. But this one should be able to stalk and pounce kind of move. But graded on a curve is interesting here. I think this horse has back figures to go on. Would not surprise me if he got the better of You Must Chill. Good effort from the outside post. Goes outside to inside. We're going to show this rerun. Thank you from Monmouth Park on the 19th. This was second time for Jorge Delgado. A barn that's come into Maryland the last year, and they've been good, hitting at a high percentage. But you got to like this effort. Outside pretty much the whole way. Goes on the attack, gets command here in upper stretch, and edges away by 2, holds firm late. Confidence, protect move here, not in for the tag. I think graded on a curve is a must-use as well.
Sure, absolutely. You also have underneath in the 10 and the 7,
Yeah.
Papal Law, as you mentioned, and the 7, Power Back for
Yeah.
Robin Graham. Horacio Caramanos gets the call with this one. A nice price underneath. That horse shows up every now and then.
He had a pretty good run last summer, a couple good races in a row.
Yep.
Hasn't come back to those figs of yet, but I think he can sit position mid-pack, make an impact. I don't know if he's going to have the finish as a couple of these other horses, but
Right.
from a price standpoint, a user in the probably tries and supers, no doubt.
There we have it.
Yep.
2-1-10-7 for Keith Fustel in race number 8. Race number 9, our premier race of the day, is an allowance. 6 furlongs on the dirt for the 3-year-olds and up. Scratch in the 1, 5, and 10. You have
Okay.
the number 11 on top. Brother Conway. This one for Kieran McGee gets Horacio Caramanos in the saddle now.
Yeah, we had a scratch here, right? Paradise Valley. Right, that one was inside
Yes.
horse who was going to take plenty of play. Fan of the Fire. This is a really, really tough. It came up super tough. First level allowance, even with the scratches. I just like, what Brother Conway has done in the Kieran McGee barn. He's just moving up, up, and up. Had a little stat. I thought I had something here with these Kieran horses when they kind of like 3 consecutive numbers going forward. He's like 26, 27%, holding form there. Now, you look at the race, there is some speed in here, and he was pretty keen to go last time. Those internals weren't super sharp. He got beat by a Baffert to Russell runner, Murray, a heavy
Okay.
favorite in there. But I think with his form right now, I think he can kind of be positioned almost anywhere. I'd like to see him just take a rating hold a couple lengths out of it and make that move. But this guy is super sharp right now for McGee and Sheffield Stable.
Hoping one that might be a little bit more sharper in that start is Midnight Renegade. Let's go ahead and take a look at that video of the start in that last effort out at actually we're going to go back to Pimlico in that first start.
Yeah, this was super
Not so
impressive.
sharp out of the gate.
Roughed up was the comment. We throw that comment in there when basically we don't have a whole lot of space, when we're typing things in and the all-encompassing rough. So it gives you an idea. Go back and look at it because this horse was basically obliterated at the break. But man, look at the recovery. Being able to handle all that adversity. Switches out about 5 wide and surge. That's another comment. When I use that phrase, visually impressive to me as a chart caller. So I like the way this one came back off the break at Colonial. Another good try. We're familiar with Supreme Law, and I think he's really going to like the flow. What sets up in front of him is going to work to his advantage today. Childers is very, very fast for Brittany Russell, but I think we'll have some other horses, a Fresh Bick, horse to the outside, and Just Beat the Odds to maybe keep him company.
And there we have it. Kate Fustel goes 11, 8, 13, 12 in race number 9. Race number 10, our final race here on Thursday's card, is a maiden claiming 12-5. 5.5 on the dirt for the 2-year-old. Scratch in the number 7, Eric's Gift. You go with the number 9, Malibu Slew on the outside for John Salzman Jr. Gets Carlos Lopez in the saddle.
Yeah, there's a couple horses that flashed some speed in the races, but I should say like super speed. They were to the front, showing tendencies to want the lead. But I think Malibu Slew out of that race back in June is certainly quick enough to make the lead. Speediness. Mongato was very quick at Timonia first time out in that maiden 20. Half in 46 compared if you look at the 8 standing in the fire. Much faster race. Excuse. Fractions in the gate. Draws outside here today. Again, I think another one's going to be go ahead and send. See if he can take them coast to coast here at the 5.5.
There we go. Ruby's Flash underneath for Jamie Ness,
Yeah.
Axel Concepcion. Coming back down, lowest level we've ever seen
Yeah.
this one. Obviously, Key Race is going to be 3 back.
I think will be the favorite. If not, if maybe the 9 will take a little play, but it's going to be close. This horse is going to have to take play. But Chase. Let's see what kind of tactics. I don't know if he's quite as quick as that outside horse, Malibu Slew, but he'll be with it, and I think he can kind of stay around based on just sheer bottom from experience.
Yep, absolutely. As Keith Fustel goes 9-6-4-8 there in our nightcap. And then now let's dive in. Let's dive in a little bit more in our lightning round to your best bet of the day. Of course, starting things off strong with Unveiled.
Yeah.
Jane Sibeli, Charlie Marquez, blinkers on.
Going to need a good break from that inside post. Showed speed. Was right there with him at the 5/8 pole. Unfortunately, got in a little trouble, had to steady back, but made another move and finished up well when altering course for the stretch. I think this one, with the blinkers on, brings focus. If I see him on the lead, I think he's going to take him wire to wire.
And for your 2 price plays today, your
Yeah.
value plays are in both. In race number 4, in your exacta, the number 10 reveal song, Mike Merriman, Axel Concepcion to start the first one, and then your other one is Policewoman for Joseph Woodett and Al Delgado.
We talked about it earlier. The way to play these two is use them in exacta box first, and then use them top and bottom. I think either one or both will make a rally into it, either win it or be 1-2. Maybe they are 1-2, but Policewoman a little bit, more sluggish early. Maybe I think Reveal Song Revelation Song's going to come back. Going to be the first time blinkers on the turf off the claim for Merriman. The 2-year-old race was good and just tossed the other one. Had a lot of trouble when facing better. But today's race, I think, is going to set up nicely for both of these horses to go ahead and make a run from the back of the pack.
The Timonium sale for the yearlings was just on Monday and Tuesday, and the top seller was for $205,000, a half brother to the 221 Maryland Million Classic champion, Monday Morning QB, of course conducted at the Timonium Sales Pavilion. And the colt Hip 160 was bred by Bowman and Higgins Stable, sold to Thoroughstock LLC and Seth Morris Thoroughbreds from the consignment of Becky Davis. He's out of a Dr. and Mrs. Bowman bred and the late Milton P. Higgins homebred mare How My Heart Works, who is a half-sister to Maryland bred champion Awesome Flower, and who is the dam of multiple Grade 1 Grade 1 winner and multi-millionaire Cyberknife, of course. So congratulations to all those connections. What a mouthful that was.
205?
205.
My wife stopped me at 180,000. She says, Keith, we can't go any further than that. So there you go. I couldn't bid $18 on a horse. I couldn't even find that right now.
And we'll leave Keith with that comment, and we will head on over to Dave Rodman for some more changes and scratches here for Thursday's card.
All right, good luck.